Greetings, dear friends, and my snow has changed. I just added some more and changed the color. And the show today is Alvin the Super Pony. Alvin is an adorable little mini Shetland pony I met last summer. Um, after my uh, after we're done here, go to Instagram and to type into the search bar playlovelearn.se, all in all together. You'll find this little white pony. He actually does this like, but yeah, that's how she does. He does. Then you'll find another Shetland pony, Humle, and then an Ardennes horse, Vidar, and then cats and sheep. Not cats. No, that cats. And for today, it's Golden Carolus, Christmas beer, Belgian Christmas beer. It's from Mechelen, a small town of Mechelen. This brewery has been founded in 1471. Okay, and this is one of the absolute extra strong beer, and it's 10% ABV. It's a stout. No, sorry. It's an ale. Christmas ale. So, it's really spicy. Like, it's almost as if it has licorice in it. It could have licorice in it. What do you call that berry? Okay, that one. Okay, it doesn't focus. Doesn't focus. Okay. I could have Googled this for you. What spices? It says herbs, and it doesn't really. I have no idea. 6 different kinds of herbs and spices. It's dry dry fruit and syrup at least. So licorice, uh, licorice plum soup, Belgian yeast pomeranz. I think that's what it says. Three types of hops. I can't really find anything as to the official what the spices are. I could have looked it up, but didn't. I guess it doesn't. It's dark ruby red ale. Yeah, okay. Regardless, it doesn't matter right now. What matters, however, is the topic for today, which is Vladimir Putin, the precious president of Russia, signing another anti-gay or anti-LGBTQ legislation. The original this particular piece of legislation that has now been passed into the law is sort of an amendment into a law that was passed in June of of 2013, the Russian is a federal Russia is a federal state, much like the United States of America, and the Russian federal law from the Federal Assembly Duma, the State Duma, um, the Senate slash Parliament. The long title of the law, the the English language media titles this piece of shitty legislation, the gay propaganda law or anti-gay law, which you have heard. However, this is not the official title of this particular law, and it's quite interestingly, this was passed from first reading to to the signature of President Vladimir Putin. It took about 3 weeks, less than less than 3 weeks. First reading on June 11th, 2013 in State Duma, and second reading 27th of June 2013 in Federation Council, and then signed by President Putin on June 30th of 2013. And so basically this was all thought through. They already knew what they pardon me, they had the decision had already been made. I mean, from the first reading on the June 11th and signed by the president June 30th. There's nothing parliamentary there isn't any parliamentary democracy going on here. Someone higher up came up with this brain fart, and then just ran it through with their power, ran it through, which kind of sucks. But the law known in the English-speaking media or English language media is gay propaganda law, anti-gay law, but the official long title is for purpose of protecting children from information advocating a denial of traditional family values. Interesting. The government stated at the time that this piece of legislation was to protect children from being exposed to homosexuality, to condemn homosexuality being presented as a norm of the society, and argumenting with traditional family values. That tends to be the conservative go-to answer. It's okay. It's Jews, Muslims, and Christians all say traditional family values. Boom, there it is. You can do anything when you say traditional family values. Basically, what this does, it prohibited the distribution and presentation of propaganda of non-traditional sexual relationships among minors into the child protection law and Code of Russian Federation on administrative officers. And this really appealed to the far right now, especially the nationalist far right, and now in December of 2022, there's propaganda law, quote unquote propaganda law, or law for the purpose of protecting children from information advocating a denial of traditional values, was amended by Putin and associates. This extends, in short, one of the main points of this new amendment to this law um, is the prohibition of distribution of propaganda of non-traditional relationships in any age group, or non-traditional relationships, meaning in that what they mean by non-traditional relationships is anything else other than non-traditional is anything other than cisgender straight uh, male and heterosexual couple, cisgender straight with a nuclear family and extended family. Um, but one definition we have here that is quite interesting, shall we say, that this terminology, quote unquote, propaganda of non-traditional sexual relationships. This definition would include in the original text anything that raises interest in such relations, causing minors to form non-traditional sexual predispositions, aka telling kids that turns them gay, right? So, or presenting distorted ideas about equal social value of traditional and non-traditional sexual relationships. Uh, and if a business or an organization, let an organization such as any pro LGBTQ plus human rights organization, which many have been considered condemned to be foreign operatives by the Russian government, um, must or typically are forced to temporarily cease operations, and foreigners may be detained. Foreigners may be arrested and detained for up to 15 days before then being deported or fined up to 5,000 rubles and deported. 5,000, like 5,000 rubles. It's like €5. Okay. Okay. How much is one? 5,000 rubles to euros. It's 74 euros. 74 euros and 92 cents. Well, you get fined 75 euros. That's maybe 80 USD. Let's see. How much is that? That would be 78 euros and 88 cents. Sorry, 78 US dollars at 88 cents. That's how much you get fined. Okay. Um, in I think it was, yes, in 2017. In the summer, um, in 2017, summer of 2017. Uh, my mom, hey mom, if you're watching, um, thought it would be a really nice idea. Well, just background. Uh, Back then, before all this shizzle going on in Ukraine, um, there used to be regular ferries, passenger ferries between Helsinki, the Finnish capital where I live, and St. Petersburg, Russia. So because I mean, Helsinki is on like where I live. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes drive from the Russian border. So just to give you the idea, so it's basically it's a three hours drive 3 hours drive from Helsinki to St. Petersburg. So it's not that long. And my nana's family, my maternal grandma, and her entire extended family is from the part of Karelia that the Soviet Union occupied and still continues to be occupied by the Russian Federation. So we lost some area to the Soviet Union back then after in the peace treaty after the Second World War. That area, my parents had my nana and their entire extended family had to leave. They just had to leave everything and go. Their houses, houses, jobs, etc., etc. They just pack your bags and go now. My nana has told me she remembers seeing. Okay, I'm not going there because I'm just trying to keep this family friendly. Um, so it's not that far from. It's hour and 45 minutes drive away. So basically, my nana is from what is now Russia, what is now Russian Karelia. My so in 2017, my dear mother had a damn good idea because my nana, stepdad, etc. They've been visiting my nana's childhood home, which is now inhabited by Russians, and the village and the town, etc. But never Saint Petersburg. My mother had a wonderful idea of going to Saint Petersburg for one day one day ashore type of cruise. So she persuaded me to go with her. It was quite spicy. Um, she never really understood why. She never still hasn't really understood why I it was so spicy for me going there. But I went, and I still had I have stamps on my passport. You know, spiciest thing was going through the immigration, and it was I would have needed at least a liter of vodka uh, to be to remain sane through that trip. But it was nice anyway. It was beautiful. St. Petersburg is a really beautiful city in the summer. Uh, Winter, when the hell freezes. So it's really knowing that I could be detained. I could be detained for 2 weeks, fined and deported at any given moment. So and being accompanied by someone who's cisgender and straight. So okay, sidetrack, sidetrack. Where anyway, the current the newest addition to the legislation it's also it prohibits extends the prohibiting distribution of propaganda to any age group, and also distribution prohibits distribution of materials that promote gender dysphoria among minors. This means this means that any when I'll go to that a bit further in a moment. Okay. Now there was the person who introduced this original bill is Yelena Mitsulina, politician and lawyer. She was a member of Duma, the state Duma, the federal Duma, like federal Congress in the U.S. and currently member of the Federation Council. And her policy is a just Russia for truth, a conservative social democratic policy in Russia, and it's systemic opposition to the Kremlin parties. However, it's the same like in a certain dictatorship in the small by air smaller dictatorship with a certain dynasty. They allow opposing opposition parties, but the opposition parties must do what the ruling party does, which is quite interesting. But this time, this amendment, shall we say, didn't go as quickly as it used to be, or was as it was in the first round. In this, the co-sponsor of the bill said that the bill would ban the quote unquote denial of family values, the promotion of quote unquote non-traditional orientations, and this was in July of this year, saying also that it's man, woman, children, and multi-generational family, etc. And then in October, the State Duma passed the bill, and the Federation Council, basically the upper house of the parliament, and on December 2nd, and signed by Putin on December the 5th of this year, and that would have been this week Monday. So it's just quite fresh. Okay, so let's go. Let's check this chat. Deportation sounds good to me. As if learning about life isn't hard enough already, says Peter, and goes on to say that's too close for comfort. Too close to indeed, way close to for me, says Bowie. Look, this is something for things that's just normal. Basically, there's just one curious thing about the Finno-Russian border. It's 1,000 1,320 something kilometers long, from south to north, and there are people who cross the border almost daily, like several times a week. Finns, they go there for cheap. Well, they Finns used to go there for uh, cheap petrol or diesel. Finns own property there. Like somewhere how they've purchased. Someone knows someone, and they've purchased a summer house. And the weird thing is that there are no fences along the entire border. There are uh, some fences around, around the general area of the border crossing, the official border crossings, but there are no like actual fences. It's basically they've just a you know cut a line, cut an opening in the trees, in the forest, like 1,300 kilometers of of an opening in the woods, because the border is just a forest, just forest basically, nothing else. Forest and bears, forest, bears, and wolf. So. Okay. Mm. This is from CNN. It's an interesting article here. Um, oh, I forgot the chat. Um, Peter's saying that's just promoting. That's not promoting. Just stating the fact. Yes, probably referring to whether or not it's telling kids and anyone basically about these issues is not propaganda. It's yeah. When Peter says, sorry, Jens says, Peter, even just mentioning those facts is considered propaganda. Yes. I forgot one propaganda, the mandatory propaganda. Stefan, Bertil, you saw Bertil's shirt on Monday, the Monday this week. And of course, I have the little lamb I got from Jens when we met in person in May. Be kind to Jens and other people, of course. They're all nice people. Okay, please leave a like, subscribe, and tickle the notification. Also, check my Patreon. Thanks to Flems for being a patron. Check the links and check my PayPal. Okay, let's go. Okay, CNN. Yeah, I'm watching here. I'm just watching here and here because I have two screens. The actual browser is like there, and my screenshot and the desktop actually is like here below. Okay, so Russian President Vladimir Putin signed into a bill that expands the original gay propaganda law. It's basically it prohibits anyone from talking about anything relating to LGBTQ plus issues. Anyone, and there's a new foreign agents law. I mentioned the foreign agents law that was, um, from I, I I mentioned earlier that some of these um, NGOs were and are being considered foreign, operatives or foreign agents, like Amnesty, Greenpeace, WWF, like, and I think they even dared to call the Red Cross a foreign agent. Basically, anyone that disagrees with the government is a foreign agent. Makes sense, doesn't it? Depends on who you ask. So this is what really bugs me. Illegal to promote or praise queer relationships and publicly express non-heterosexual orientations or suggest that they are normal. That is how you get fined if you. These are so vague. Somewhere they said, uh, Pete says, government or just Putin. The government is Putin is the government. It's like the Emperor in Star Wars. I am the Senate. That's who Putin is. I am the Senate. So you can get individuals can get be fined 400,000 rubles, which is 6,370 USD for LGBT propaganda and for pride events or distributing or distribution of appropriate of pro LGBT material, pride events, etc. Yeah, demonstration of LGBT and information that encourages a change of gender among teenagers is to half that 200,000 rubles. It's discriminatory, as you can probably imagine. Okay? Basically, homosexuality in itself has been decriminalized and has been said to be is said to be to not be an issue if you're gay. If you do anything if you do anything about being gay, if you do anything that would be considered embracing your homosexuality, you could. That is a crime, okay? According to Putin, at least. Um, let me okay. No, no, not that one. Um, okay. Let's go with this one. This is from your dear old BBC. Uh, okay.
Не берусь ответить.
There are no subtitles, please. No. No. I don't want uh, automatic. Why do I want it? English.
На
You know, I can't answer the part of your question about whether homosexuals are born or
что
made.
люди рождаются или становятся гомосексуалистами.
That
Это
is beyond my
не
professional
сфера
interest.
моих
I'm
профессиональных
just not
интересов.
qualified to
И
respond.
квалифицированного ответа я просто не смогу дать. Обращаю ваше внимание на то, что в России нет
I
уголовной
would like to draw your
ответственности за
attention to the
нетрадиционную
fact that in
ориентацию.
Russia, unlike in
В
one-third of world's
отличие от
countries,
более чем
being
1/3
gay
государств
is
мира.
not a crime.
В 70 странах
Yeah, there we have it. There, you know, we're better than. We have it bad, but it's not that bad because it's not a crime. You know, because being gay is not a crime. We have it better. Okay, so we're better than like any any other Muslim country. You know, so sorry. Peter says, I wonder why. Okay, let's shut that one. Okay. Peter says, I wonder why anyone would want to live there with those restrictions. Right. And yet Bowie says, okay, let's get Peter's question first. Russians learn the double thing from early age. Look, Russians are taught to think differently because in the West, we are well. In the West, the propaganda, the shit that we get from our government, say, the Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, etc., etc. Is so the fact that they are trying to bullshit us, it's blatantly obvious. But Russians, they are bred that way. They're bred differently. They are because the Russian government, goes on to, how should I put this? The Russian government tries to bullshit people differently. Because the bullshit doesn't come in the letters and the lines of the text. It comes from between the lines, and Russians are taught to read between the lines from infancy. So, figuratively, it comes, figuratively speaking, it comes from the mother's milk. But that's why there is so much cognitive dissonance, and the other reason is that they are so thoroughly brainwashed. So many people are so thoroughly brainwashed that they can't see any difference. They don't see any difference. Like the Chinese, the government brainwashes them from infancy into thinking, this and that, and they can't see any different. And then they just, when they see something different, they just turn the blind eye. Then a blind eye, and didn't happen. Boobies. Then Peter says, not Russians learned the double think. Not that the USA is much better. IMHO. The GOP, yes, saying the GOP is trying to turn the USA into 1930s Germany. It would be in the world of the internet. I think people will soon learn all the BS. But hey, look, Peter, you know that the Russian government has been at work banning or blocking websites. People in Russia, they cannot access the World Wide Web as we know it. they can only access the Russian internet. Like North Korea, there's like 20 something, 20 something, 20 or 30 something web pages, and they can only access that, and they don't know any better. That's one of the issues. Okay. Why? Uh, okay, there we have it. Okay, so the original term is Gleichschal- Gleichschaltung, coordinated state media education. As Gleichschaltung. Gleichschaltung. I hope that's somewhat correct. Uh, as for Russia being mainly we, I believe you're an American. Look at your own government. Look at what your own state has been like. You know, who knows how long since the British Empire, during, pre, and post independence. Has it been anything other than a dictatorship? They have created you an illusion of democracy, an illusion of freedom of choice, an illusion of American dream. None of those things exist in the US. Never have. During and after the British Empire, no state is perfect. Finland isn't perfect either. But like kettle calling the pan black or whatever, the calling the kettle black. So but Russia, there's never really been um buoy. Look at what you have, even even Russia, they have their they have their version, their bastardized version of democracy, of parliamentary democracy. How many parties, political parties, do you have in the US? Two. How many parties does the Russian government have? Uh, at least half a dozen at least. Uh, in Finland, we have a five-party coalition government. Heads are the Power Five. The Power Five, the chairs of all these these government parties, women. Prime Minister, woman. Two of the ladies have been on maternity leave during the past 4 years. So, but Russia has never been a true dictatorship. But I mean, it has been a true dictatorship, but never a true democracy. Look what they had before the current Russian Federation. They had uh, they had the Soviet Union. What did they have before the Soviets or the communist regime, the socialist regime, before the socialist rule? What did they have? They had the monarchy. So the Tsar was the one next to God, literally. The government doctrine said that the government, it was an the Tsar made all the rules. I think Putin is the modern day Tsar. Okay, so let's go. Okay, this is from SIPA. So SIPA is the stands for the Center for European Policy Analysis, non-profit, non-partisan public policy institution based in Washington. Peter says our prime minister tried to censor our internet. Well, luckily we voted him out. True democracy has never been enacted anyway. Yeah. Okay. Sure. True. And what? Bowie says, why is it called democracy if they put traditions and religion before understanding? That is something that you probably should ask President Putin himself. I don't know, or any any or any religious leader, say any preacher, bishop, archbishop, imam, rabbi, etc. I cannot give you an answer to that one. I'm not a priest or a. I'm not a theologian. Okay. Whether it leads anywhere, the SIPA riots. It's not the first time it's been used anti-LGBT discourse in trying to get public support. There's, as it says here, it was originally 2013, following mass protests of the 2 years prior, during the 2 years leading up to that very hasty legislation passed. They are trying. This really pointed out. This is something that I agree with. That they are trying to draw the public's. They're trying to trick the public, the general public, to look elsewhere, while certain other things are happening, including the Russian armed services doing all kinds of tricks. I won't go into on my channel. I don't want to get this stream would be probably something that the YouTube godly YouTube algorithms would might as well get me banned. I could get banned for this probably. Just a moment. Okay, so that is the chunk. That is the chunk of my stuff, what I wanted to say for today. Let's get the chat speed says leadership is more of a popularity contest. Winners get the benders over the barrel, precisely. Let's get if I can get you to lighten up the end towards the end. Okay. Oh, fuck this. Um. Okay. Let. Okay. Do you know what? Tell you what. Let's get uh she is the former state council, the former chair of state of city council. They they actually did revealed a portrait of her. Let me get this. Okay, let me get. Okay. Um, that's her portrait at the Tampere City Hall. That's our prime minister. They just revealed this portrait a couple of weeks ago. That's our leadership. Okay. Okay. However, there is something that she has been doing before. She has had some, uh, well, extracurricular activities, uh, because she has a who the fuck? Okay, uh, she has a particular proclivity for partying. Okay, a particular. She's been. Where the fuck do I have the shit? Oh, look who look who she happened to meet. Sanna Marin visited, had a state visit. Doesn't that look like some action movie couple? You know? Yeah, she was in Aussie and Kiwis. Kiwis had a share of her too. Um, Visa says she was recently here in Aussie. Yes, and in Kiwi, Kiwi Sue. The world needs to see more real people like her. Yeah, I mean she's real. She's from the town, from the city I'm from. Uh, but they that looks like some sort of a power duo. Like, I mean, look at that. That could be from any action film. That could be replace Tom Cruise and Angelina Jolie, and there's your new one. Mm. Let's let me see if I can find you something interesting. I don't know. I've seen it. Okay, I'm not gonna spread show it anyway because it's distasteful. Peter says I would definitely vote for her. Yeah, it's been She's had an interesting ride in politics. Um, I could go further, but I don't find it productive. How was the stream today? I'm about to go. It's time for you to say bye for that deal. And it's time for you to say goodbye. Stefan. Please check the links in the description, leave a like, subscribe, and tickle the notification bell. Okay. Uh, these aren't working. My buttons. But my buttons are not working. That one's working. That one not working. Yeah, that's working. I'm still happy about this. Seeing Sophie Labelle. She had this speaking event. She came there to talk to a queer pub bar. You can get. We went there. It's actually prime. It's I think it's primarily for. Don't quote me on that, okay? But it's a queer LGBTQ plus cafe, bar, and restaurant. And one of the founders is yes, it's queer. It's for queer women and queer women, uh, queer women and gender minorities. Yeah, gender minorities and queer women. So basically, no men, no men. No, like as in people identifying as male. They can, of course, but this place is for uh, queer women and gender minorities. It's really fun. Opens early, closes late. So there's one of the founders. She's trans, as far as I can tell. So that is called Kväristö, and it's in a part of town where it's said that half the gays of Helsinki live. Uh, it's a caricature, but you know. Yeah. Okay. But it's time for me to go. I don't want to keep you any further. Um, until next time.